Okay, now we're ready. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tanya Tyson, Senior Vice President of Programs and Operations at the National Coalition on Black Civics Participation. It is absolute honor to do my black job here today and welcome you to the Black Women's Roundtable, Women of Power, Chi-Town Gathering. As we come together today, I am filled with excitement to be amongst such powerful and influential women of color who are making an impact in our communities and across the nations. This gathering is more than just an event, it's a testament of the strength, the resilience, and determination of Black women. Can I get a round of applause for that? Can we get our as we approach this critical election, our role has been more important. We must strategize, organize, and mobilize to ensure that our voices are heard in the words of our forever First Lady. Let's do something and say to do something. So can I get everyone say, let's do something?
Let's do something.
Okay, ladies and gents. Together we can and we will. I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence is a reflection of your dedication of the work that we have ahead. And now it is my great privilege to introduce an advocate for our community, of our people, who leads by an example and is a true coalition builder. When I say this woman can call and put a text and she can fill this room up, trust me, she can. I've never seen it done. Our fierce leader, the one and only Melanie Campbell.
Thank you, Ms. Tanya. Give our new Senior Vice President of Operations and Programs a round of applause. Thank you, Tanya. But we always make sure that we remember who we are and whose we are. In that regard, we're going to have some inspiration prayer from Bishop Vashti McKenzie, President of the National Council of Churches of Christ USA. Bishop. Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord, everybody. Before we prepare our hearts for prayer, I just want to say one thing. Let's not make the same mistake twice. And then you say, like, what's she talking about? In the Gospels, all four Gospels talk about Barabbas. You've heard of Barabbas. Barabbas, there was right before the holiday, the Hebrews could choose someone to live and someone to die. In the court, there was Jesus and there was Barabbas. There was the Son of God and a criminal. There was darkness and there was light. The people called for Barabbas because there were elders mixed in the crowd who stirred them up with emotion, and they chose Barabbas instead. Well, here we are. There is another crowd who may stir folk up not to vote, not to take other people with them, and not to check on their voter registration. The wrong one was chosen. Let's not make the same mistake twice. Y'all ready to pray now? Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you in this moment that there are people who are concerned enough to make a commitment, to have the courage to pray and work for a better tomorrow. We thank you that we don't have to do this alone, for you promised that you would fight our battles. We thank you that we don't have to do it in our own energy and strength, but we can do it by your power and your might. We thank you that you have given us the chutzpah, the power, the intellect, yes, to move the envelope forward for a better America. God, you know more than anything else that our democracy is at stake. and we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. So give us what we need in this moment, in this hour. Give us the strength, give us the courage, give us the idea, give us the discernment, and walk with us every step of the way. So as we commit this moment to you, we commit ourselves again to the cause. And in your name we pray. Together we say amen. Now go back to that same neighbor and say, let's not make the same mistake twice. Try it now. Y'all got to do a little bit louder. Not make the same. You got to say it the way I say it. Don't make the same mistake twice.
All right. Say we're not going back. We're moving forward. Power of the ballot. Power of the sister vote. Power of the brother vote. Power of the black vote. Black. That's the power of the we vote, we the people vote. And not just I. Read into that what you may. Now we will hear from our sister Tanya Veazey, who's senior advisor, Raven Group, that will bring greetings and give us a understanding what this whole democracy house thing is all about. From Texas, and always also former president of Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. I know you other things, but I know those are the two in my head. Okay.
That's just a little bit of what I do. So first of all, let me just say welcome to your house, which is the Democracy House. And we created this space for you all. And I cannot think of a better way to end this 4-day journey than with the Black Women Roundtable, because we know what happens when Black women get together. We saw it about 4 weeks ago. And we are going to continue this momentum. But on behalf of Raven, I just want to welcome you all here. I believe, and if it's not true, I'm going to claim it anyway. I believe you all are the finale of the Democracy House. So I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Miss Melanie Campbell, who, can I just say, I met Melanie about 2 months ago. And she has officially adopted me, and here I am on stage. So that's the way Melanie does it. And I appreciate you all, and I hope that many more will adopt me. And I just want to thank you. I want to give just a shout out to Dr. Skinner, who adopted me long time ago when I was the CBCF CEO, the Congressional Black Caucus CEO, and she took me under her wings. And so I am indebted to many of you in this room. And I just want to thank you for being here. And I want to welcome you to your house. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Can we give our sister Tanya a round of thank you? And to Raven Group and Robert and everyone, it's been a wonderful, wonderful partnership that we're going to continue to build. And now it is also my pleasure, and indeed, I feel like I'm thinking about the time, when your life goes full circle and relationships go full circle and things come in alignment. I've seen more folks who had put up their movement boots, right? Who Monday night, like was that Monday night where they had the thing for Mignon? It was a Sunday night. And I looked around that room, and there were people who had put up their movement. They had never left the movement, but they had put up the movement to do other things. People who had run every campaign I could think of in my lifetime were in that room. And I said, this is what movement looks like. This is the African drumbeat beating that says we know what time it is, and we all just show up, right, at the right time. And so when I got the call that my sister, who's never left movement, wanted to come over here with the Black Women's Roundtable, I was like, oh, yes, I know it's a movement going on. And so I'm going to bring up, I would say much more, but time. But our sister Sheryl Lee Ralph is here. She is, I'm going to give you your formalities, okay? American actress and singer who has been in the industry for over 40 years. She is known for her roles on stage and screen including her Tony-nominated role as Dina Jones in the Broadway musical Dreamgirls. She also won an Emmy, Screen Actors Guild Award, and Critics' Choice Award for her role as kindergarten teacher. And my mama was a public school teacher, so I'm just in love with Barbara Howard on the ABC show Abbott Elementary. And as a point of personal privilege, she is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And she is here, and I'll have her to introduce her partner in this life when she comes up, who's a brother that I've had an opportunity to get in the streets with, and I'm ready. We ready. We're going to be in Philly. Sister Sheryl Lee Ralph, bring us our charge.
Thank you, Melanie. Everybody, welcome. Hey, girl, good to see you. How you doing, Brenda? How you doing, Soror, Vashti? You know, Soror here made sure that my diva acronym lives forever. Divinely inspired, victoriously, if it was Sunday, anointed diva. And I thank you for that. To all of my sorors, to all of my sisters, to all of my mentors, to all of my mentees, to all of my people who think to the forwards in life. Recognizing the past is the past, the present right here, but the future. We are the hope and the dream of our ancestors. We are that future. And we're not going back. We're not going back. Just like a tree planted by the water. We're not going back. We're not going back. I stand there and I think about the past. I think about Dr. Martin Luther King. Right before he died, he said, I have been to the mountaintop and I've seen it. And I know he saw freedom. I know he saw it. And none of us in this room this afternoon, as we prepare for this evening, you can't tell me that you don't see it too. We all know that when a black woman makes up her mind about something happening, it's gonna happen, because Fannie Lou Hamer went to the DNC in the 60s, and I remember looking at that little 12-inch black and white screen, and that black lady came up, and that black lady sat there sweating. And she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Y'all, you can't tell me that you don't see freedom right now. Because we all know 4 weeks ago and a day, 4 weeks ago and a day, when everybody was confused, trying to figure out, well, who they're gonna put up there. There was a whole group of women, black. They were not confused. And how many dollars did they raise overnight? Can you say 4 million freedom dollars? And everybody was in shock. They were in such shock. They said, wait a minute. Black women raise how many dollars? Well, what the white dude's gonna do? Reparations. That's what happened. So sometimes things are too important not to just say the truth, because we're here to honor the legacy of Black women that came before us. Black women whose courage, intellect, and unyielding commitment to justice have profoundly shaped the course of American politics. Shirley Chisholm said it. If a Black woman becomes vice president, any woman becomes vice president. The way to the presidency is that. And isn't that just what happened? Sometimes we don't recognize prophets when we see them. But these women, they navigated in a world steeped in racism. We think we know about racism now. We don't know nothing about it. The stories that have been told to us about Black women who went to church, walked home from church, got picked up by a truckload of white boys looking to have some fun with them. And if they were blessed and lucky, they survived it. But if they weren't, the lynching began. So we don't know about racism. They survived sexism, yet their voices continue to resonate with the power that transcends the barriers, the hurdles, the stops put before them. And you want to know what's so amazing about these Black women? Their contributions, you think it was just for us? You think it was just for Black people? It's for everybody. It was even for the people that hurt them. It was even for the people that put their foot on their neck. So when I say, when you vote for a woman, and a woman like a Kamala Harris, I don't care what you think about anything. You are voting for much more than that woman. You are voting for the future. You are voting for the doors that those before her could not open. And we all know that this woman, this Kamala Harris woman, graduate of an HBCU woman, educated, brilliant woman, kind woman, is not just here for herself. This is a woman like all of you here and the men that love us. No, when you empower a Black woman, you empower everybody. And you're the choir. So I don't need to teach you the song, but I need you to sing it. I need you to get out there and do the work. You know the assignment. And I play a teacher on Abbott Elementary, and I'm going to give you an F if you don't do it. Thank you. We got folks to call up on the phone and just talk to them. Because some of our folks and friends were trying to back a Kennedy. I will say nothing about that. But that Kennedy has changed. Okay, I said a little bit more. There's work to be done, people. And guess what? Ooh. We will get it done. I'm going to give this mic to my better half, who is the chair of appropriations for the great state of Pennsylvania. So what does it mean when you are chair of appropriations? It means you got the money. It means, I don't never get any of it, but it also means you've got to raise the money. And as much as we have raised, there is still more that needs to be raised. Please meet my husband, Senator Vincent Hughes from Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't know that was going to happen. Melanie, thank you very much. Hey, everybody, look, message is real simple. This is the house of democracy. It would be a mistake, Sister Skinner. Thank you. I didn't recognize when I came in. My apologies. All right? I apologize. It would be a mistake if we stopped at the top of the ticket and thought that the job was done there. It would be a mistake if we said, all right, we took care of that business. I'm done. Going to go about whatever else I got to do. Whoever, for the top of the ticket to get done, anything done, they need a Congress. They need a House of Representatives. They need a U.S. Senator. We cannot be in a situation where we put our sister up in front and do not give her the tools to get the mission done. We have just dropped the ball. All right, we have dropped the ball. We've got to get that done, but it cannot stop there. And I know Melanie and her organization has been talking about this for a long time. We must drive ourselves all the way down ballot. Who's your state senator? Who's your state representative? Who controls the legislature? Who's in the majority and who's in the minority? I am not the majority chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee. I'm the Democratic chair. That's another way of saying I'm the minority chair. All right, you know, but I have the capacity to drive funds out to organizations like ours that historically never have received it. But if I was majority chair, it's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different conversation. Understand this: at the state level, no matter where you're from, I'm not going to say it's more important than what happens at the federal level because it's all connected, but I will say this. If your issue is criminal justice reform, there are more brothers and sisters doing state time than there are doing federal time. There are more brothers and sisters doing state time than they're doing local time. Voting rights is manifested at the state level. The locations of polling places, whether they're a block or two away or whether they're a mile or two away, is determined at the state level, at the local level. All right? The right for women to control their body is manifested in many respects at the state level. Education funding is not driven at the federal level. It's driven at the state level, overwhelmingly. Overwhelmingly. In fact, the federal government supplies maybe no more than about 10% of the funding for public education across this country. Now, they have the capacity to step in when there's major problems like what we confronted with COVID, okay? but it's happening at the state level. So who you have in charge at the state level is extremely, extremely important. And in fact, has the ultimate capacity to implement what our sister will be trying to get done in the White House. All right? So I would just ask, in this task that we're on right now, is to make sure that we all understand each level and that we have a full mission to get done, which is at each level. And I'm going to say this. There's been a lot of conversation about the brothers. A lot of conversation about the brothers. I believe in the end, like we most times do, brothers finally get it and come and pull it together. We just a little slow. Y'all are fast. Remember, y'all, I said that. I'm clear. Y'all had the first call that Sunday night. The brothers came up on Monday night, okay? All right? Okay? All right? All right? But if just remind some of the brothers, if they got a problem voting for the sister, is it her problem or is it their problem? Now, I could drop the mic right there, and I probably need to, okay? But you understand the point. It's really a conversation about ourselves, some of it which needs to be had publicly, and some of it which needs to be had privately. But the task here is to have the conversation in an appropriate format so we can achieve the result of utilizing every aspect of power that we have available to us. I come out of, Melanie, I swear I'm gonna finish up here. I come out of Reverend Jackson. We are in Chicago. And any mention about this moment without mentioning 1984 and 1988 would be a disrespect to his legacy. Mignon Moore, who's the big boss over there, comes out of that. Leah Daughtry, a couple years ago, right, came out. We could go on and on and on and on. I come out of that, okay? When he was on the ballot in 84, I was on the ballot in 84 for the office of state representative. It is this, we owe it to that legacy, this journey that we're on. We owe it to that legacy to get this job done, all right? To get this job done. So my wife is slipping off the side, I see, okay? So that means I got to slip on with her, okay? All right? But thank you very much. We appreciate you. Anytime Melanie Campbell calls, you know we step up. I'm from Philly, and you know how we do it in Philly, all right? Thank you very much.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right, we're gonna move right along. Hey, Pontiac in the house. How you doing? Okay, we're gonna have our first panel led by our sister, where's my notes? Oh, Sister Dee Marshall, CEO of Diverse and Engaged LLC. She's also a senior advisor with us, with our Black Women's Roundtable Institute at Clark Atlanta University. She wears many, many hats, girlfriend spray, and many, many other hats. But most importantly, she's my sister friend in times of good and times of trouble. And so bring her up to bring up the first panel. The second panel will be led by Dr. Avis Jones-Weaver, and I'll introduce her at that time. Dee, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, gorgeous, greatness, beautiful, fabulous. A round of applause again for Melanie Campbell, everybody. You could do better than that, I know. All right, we get excited about Black women here. And so we've already been welcomed. This is the Democracy House, and it is appropriate that the Black Women's Roundtable would activate here because Black women are the reason for the moment and the reason for so much. And so I'm excited. Now I'm going to invite to the stage Black Women's Roundtable, focusing specifically on the Southern region. And so Keturah is going to join me on stage. A round of applause for Keturah Butler-Reed. Deborah Scott is going to join me on stage. A round of applause for Deborah Scott. Helen Butler is going to join me on stage. And then Felicia Davis. A round of applause because these are the women who are on the ground in the field. and they are responsible for activating. Say activating in the room. They are responsible for activating. And one of the things that Black Women's Roundtable does well is activating. And so we can have Helen will sit in the big chair. We'll give her the Queen's chair. Yes, absolutely. Is that not appropriate? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And so today is an exciting day. And I know we're all anxious to move on because it's a big night. And so I'm going to ask this question about the moment that we are in. And then we're going to move out of the way onto the second panel. So we are here at the House of Democracy, Chicago, a moment that we weren't sure, as hard as you all have been working, you generals on the ground, we weren't sure when we would see this in our lifetime. But I would like to say God himself, a ram in the bush, in the same way that God orchestrated Jesus' crucifixion and then raising Jesus from the dead. I just feel like that. I'm not the preacher, but say amen, somebody. I mean, because the series of events that needed to happen to really culminate on the work that you all are doing on the ground. So here is the question that I'm going to pose to each of you. We're going to do a flash round and move off so you can allow for the North and the other BWR sisters to come behind you. Is that fair? All right. So the question is this. Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris will accept the nomination. And for you all doing the work, question number one, what does this moment mean to you? Question number two, tell us briefly the work that you are doing on the ground to move us in the direction to seal the deal. And then the third, we need a call to action from you to tell us, what do we need to do? We are live streaming. We've got people here, but you all are the voices. If you call the play, Deb, Helen, Couture, Felicia, when you call the play, Black women are going to run the ball down the field. So Couture, let's start with you.
I knew you were coming to me first. So I would say that it is an honor and privilege to be in this room, but also just a privilege to be able to do this work at this time for a Black woman. I would say, like, working with young people, this is gonna definitely help me with boosting their confidence, because they can actually see someone at one of the highest office of the country. And so this is really exciting for young people, and I'm very excited about that. What we're doing right now is really focusing on them. In Louisiana, the problem isn't always voter registration. The problem is turning them out to the polls. So we're making sure that we're focusing on early voting turnouts, phone banking, canvassing, but also having events and also providing transportation for them, but also kind of making it fun. We really have to focus on that 18 to 35 range, because that's the range that we kind of lack in a lot. And we always have so many different distractions. We have homecomings and festivals every day. So that kind of, it really puts a damper on, what we want to do with the community, but we're trying to make it fun. So we'll do our own festival. We'll get the people out to come out, have food, dancing. If we got to hit the clubs with the young people, we got to do that. We got to go to the church, we're going to do that. So just being very creative with our strategy. But what I would say is the call to action is just giving more resources to young people, giving more resources to Black women-led organizations, but also more specifically, protecting Black women too. Because a lot of times we want to hold our elected officials accountable, and we want to hold Kamala Harris accountable, but there's a way to do that without disrespecting her. So that's what we have to start with. Respect, accountability, but also making sure that that accountability is also local. And so we're really prioritizing. We just won a new congressional district, and that's what we're prioritizing right now, from Baton Rouge, Alexandria, Shreveport, et cetera.
And Couture, for the people who are watching, because we're streaming, talk to the one person who's watching and give them the play. What are they supposed to do? One thing.
You are supposed to bring people with you to the polls.
Okay,
and
bring
remind
folks to the poll. There you go. All right, Deb Scott, introduce yourself and the 3 questions. What does this moment mean to you? What are you doing on the ground in Georgia? And a call to action. We need you to call the play, coach. Everybody's a coach now.
All right. Well, good afternoon, sisters. My name is Deborah Scott. I'm the CEO of Georgia Stand Up. We also have a C4. So I'm going to start with a couple of action steps. 1, make sure you're registered to vote. 2, make sure everyone in your household is registered to vote, because sometimes we have our cousins and stuff and they're not registered to vote. So make sure. And then in Georgia, we know that they're pushing people off the roll. So really make sure you're registered to vote. Check your status, right? And check your family status, and then check your polling location, because in Georgia, they're closing polling locations and switching polling locations and doing all kinds of things. So we need you to check your information. But then you need to organize. We need everyone to come out and get involved with this election. GeorgiaStandUp.org, 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 because we want you to volunteer. If you're willing to come to Georgia to help knock on doors, we need you. If you're willing to text, if you're willing to phone, we need you. We are set up and ready to go. Last year, we had 400 people across the state, or 2 years ago, 400 people across the state. We are doing and trying to double that if we can. We need your help. We need your dollars. So if you can't do anything else, you can send money to the South. Say, send money to the South. Send money to the South. If they say all roads come through Georgia and it can't happen without Georgia, Helen and Felicia, we're still wondering when the check is coming, right? But we're ready, we're set up, and that 18 to 35-year-olds, we need these Black youth. We need you to encourage your young people to get out and get on the front line. This is going to be a fun campaign, y'all. So this is the time to get them acclimated into this whole political process. We need you. We need every single body. So this is the call to action. Get involved. Do something, but get involved. Organize, mobilize, and strategize, and then stay involved.
All right. All right. Ms. Helen, introduce yourself. And the question is, what does this moment mean to you? We are sitting here in Chicago, the DNC, the day that Vice President Kamala Harris will accept the nomination for President of these United States, soon to be united, and a day that maybe you might not have thought would happen in this lifetime, despite the work that you have been doing tirelessly. So if you can chime in now, that'd be great.
Thank you so much. I'm Helen Butler, Executive Director of the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, founded by the late Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowry and so many other great civil rights leaders. So this moment means to me that we are almost fulfilling the legacy of all of those civil rights leaders who fought for the right to the ballot. And what a culmination of that right to vote, and being able to choose representatives that will represent our interests. So in this moment, in this time, the first thing we need to do, of course, Deborah's talked about register, but we need to be educated about how to vote, educated about who's on that ballot, not just at the federal level, but as was stated earlier, down the ballot, everyone on that ballot is important. So you've got to be educated about who's on the ballot. There are state representatives, state senators, judges, sheriffs, district attorneys, local officials. So know what they stand for and vote in an educated way. Get that sample ballot off of mvp.sos.ga.gov in Georgia, and I'm sure every other state has that. So be educated and know what to do. You can do it. You can make it happen. If you want the change, you've got to be it. So do it now. be educated, get mobilized, help us protect that right to vote, become an election protection monitor.
Yep.
We'll train you and you can make it happen. One great action item, October the 15th, all women across the state of Georgia. We have 7 offices opening, an 8th office in North Georgia. So we're gonna show up at the poll. We're gonna overload the polls October the 15th. Make it happen.
Awesome. Felicia Davis, call to action, and Sheila Tyson, call to action. If 1 minute, if you can.
So, no, I can't. So, now, addressing the people at home, I'm going to talk double fast, twice as fast as I can. Can you all understand me if I talk this fast? So, speaking very fast, HBCU's Green Fund, I am the founder. And I think in the moment, what the moment means is, yes, the joy of seeing ourselves reflected. But more than that, we know what Black women do. So what Black women do it differently. We get the job done. So we have somebody going in to get the whole job done. So that's number 2. In terms of what to do on the ground, one call to action is to listen to the ideas and the suggestions of young people. So not only what we think they need to do, but they can bring forward their ideas, their energy, their action. So reach out to us and let us know what you need to do what you do. We will support you, and that's how we collectively will get the job done. And that was only 55 seconds. So in the final 5 seconds, I want to say we have to spread the love. Our joy comes from a deep power of love. So we're going to love up on our entire community. And now, Sheila Tyson, you got a minute to go.
Well, at this moment, I think that our focus, we haven't won. And I think we are celebrating. You just can't celebrate before the party.
That's why y'all are here, though, to tell us how we do it.
You have to win these states just like you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. We're going to have to go county by county. Alabama might not be the state that we want it to be. But if we win 5 counties November the 5th and change it to where it look like where they think like us, that's a win. If we can do that every 4 years or every election, win a county, win a city, that's how you're gonna have to do it. And gradually, I'm telling you, in 4 more years, I can guarantee you November the 5th, we're gonna win 5 counties.
All right.
We're going to win our 5 counties. I said we're going to go 2 over. 4 more years from that, along the way, we got to have these spots. They looking at each seat. If you sick, I promise you, you might be sick on dialysis or something. They feel like you're going to die. They got somebody in that county working. They got somebody. We don't even look at that. We ain't looking at none of that. They keep up with every single thing we do. Somebody feel like if someone died, they got somebody right then to run for those seats. We sitting back trying to run 5 and 6 people, and they run 1 person. You got to be, I'm talking about we ain't paying no attention. We got to get some watchdogs. Somebody that's going to look at each one of those positions. Every day is voting day. We don't have time to be off. You got to look at the city council, mayor, county commissioner, all of the representatives in the state house. You got to do that. You got to have somebody watching that so we can put somebody in those spots. That's why for District 2 in Alabama, they running. This lady that's already spent $1 million. You think they ain't coming at that seat? And she's self-funded. She already a millionaire. I'm talking about multi-millionaire. So we can't take for granted on anything. Our constable seat, I want that. I want the clerk seat, I want that. And we got to work it like that every single day. And that's my
right. And a round of applause. This is the Black Women's Roundtable. And we are so grateful for all of you in the southern region below the Mason-Dixon, pulling up the real. Y'all are necessary, and we thank you so much. We're going to move out of the way, and we're going to allow for Black Women's Roundtable for the next to come on. But again, if you are at home and watching the stream, we want you to follow National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. Follow the Black Women's Roundtable, follow Coalition Builder. And again, we thank the Rabin Group for hosting and sponsoring and powering the Democracy House. And so again, a round of applause on this historic day. My name is DC Marshall, CEO of Diverse and Engaged, Senior Advisor at the Black Women's Roundtable on DEI. God bless you and have a good night and do something.
Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. We're going to keep this rolling because who wants to go over there and see the next president of the United States get officially put over the top tonight and go ahead and accept that nomination? So with that said, we're going to move on because we have to get out of here really quickly to make sure you can get your seats, okay? I am Dr. Avis Jones-DeWeaver. I'm so excited to be able to bring up to the panel today representatives from the North and the Northeast to tell us what they are doing in their respective states and localities to make sure that they are able to maximize the vote. So first, I would like to bring up to the panel Dr. Barbara Skinner Williams. William Skinner, yes. Followed by Dr. Judith Moore, Pete Talley, PD Talley, how you doing? And Tamika Ramsey. All righty, Dr. Barbara Williams. Okay, Dr. Barbara Williams Skinner, we're gonna start, well, actually, okay. All righty, all right, so Dr. Judith Moore, we're gonna start with you and we're just gonna go right on down and ask you all to answer this small series of questions one by one with a maximum of like 1 to 2 minutes tops, okay? So we can finish up really quickly today. First of all, I wanted to know from each and every one of you, because you all have been in the movement, you've all put in the work, what does this moment mean to you right now, right today? Also, I wanna know, what are you doing in your states? This is a critical moment, not only nationally, but locally, statewide, and particularly with your states. You represent very critical states that will make or break this election. So what are you doing to make sure that you are not only turning out the vote in terms of the top of the ticket, but also looking at the whole ticket, all of the offices, because we know we need the entire representation there for actually change to happen.
voter registration first. Then you vote early so you can get out and help. You talk to everyone. Don't talk to someone. Talk to everyone. Everyone. I mean everyone. I talk to everyone. I talk to them. Are you registered to vote? Do you know how much we have on the line? Don't assume. And we assume in the state of Maryland, you know this, Reverend, we assume in the state of Maryland that people are getting out to vote, but they're not. We're in a state, Reverend, that people think they have arrived in the state of Maryland. Black folks think they have arrived. Talk to everyone. Let them know what is at stake. Make sure that they check their own voter registration. Tell them to vote and vote early, and early voting. We have early voting in the state of Maryland so that you can get out and help us to get other people to the polls. Now, some people say, well, who do I connect with? Connect with us. Connect with us, connect with your church. We're working with the churches. Connect with labor. Labor, they're recruiting people to knock on doors, to do phone banking. Check with the NAACP. We have partner organizations that you can check with and work with, but talk to everyone. That's what we're doing in the state of Maryland.
Awesome. And let me just add right before Tamika goes, in the state of Maryland, we also have a sister who is running for the Senate. Okay. Yes. And so you have the opportunity in Maryland to not only vote for a Black woman at the top of the ticket, you also have the opportunity to vote for a Black woman. Senator Angela also will make sure that we get another Black woman in the Senate and perhaps even two this year.
Yeah, and that's what I said, Ava, but we are nonpartisan. We are nonpartisan, but we political and we Black. So when we come knocking at the doors, okay, when we come knocking at the doors, we just tell them to go vote. We have issues. And let me just say this final. Talk about the issues. People want to know why they are going to vote. Talk about the issues. If you don't know about Project 2025, learn about it. Just 1 point, learn about it.
Thank you, Tamika.
Tamika Ramsey, I'm from Michigan. What this moment means to me, it means so much for myself because my children, I have a 21-year-old daughter who got re-energized about the election because she sees someone who looks like her. She understands the issues and the values that the vice president had because Black Youth Vote and Black Women Roundtable have been working with the vice president during her whole tenure. And so that really is important for me. Just to see hope of a new generation. We talk about the civil rights movement to them. It's so far beyond them that this is their civil rights movement, and we are here to help usher them along the way. What we're doing in Michigan, we can't do this work by ourselves, but we also know that Black organizations don't get the support that they need. So we have created a coalition, much like the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation has done across the country in our state. We have Oakland Forward in Oakland County, one of the most important counties in our state that has gone to looking like me, that has the values of me, but was not voting like me. And so getting people who felt hopeless out there to vote now has been really important. Working with Michigan United, a statewide organization, our own Wall Street, Black Youth Votes, Kalamazoo and Metro Detroit. We know that Black people can't do it alone. We have to come together as Black people, no matter where we are. We also have to work with our allies because I tell people, Black people didn't break this. We didn't break it, so we shouldn't be responsible for fixing it by ourselves. So working with our allies, our non-Black allies, to make sure that they are investing in this movement and doing just
I want to lift up Roland Martin, who has, as y'all think, keeping his parents lost his sister today. And so we're family. And then I got a good buddy friend, Roy in the back, South Carolina. Thank you for always being here as our friend on the road. Turn it over to you all to give us closing remarks, and then everybody dash to the United Center if you want to see that's your us.
Let's give our leader a big round of applause. We're really proud when she came on the stage the other night. We have come a long way from being nothing but the men of the civil rights movement to Melanie being recognized as one of the top civil rights in the country. So I'm just trying to think of what had not been said, so I won't be able to repeat it. One of the things that I don't think has been, if we didn't say it, needs to be emphasized, misinformation. There is so much misinformation going around, especially to our young people. So we need to organize in the community and have young people that can help to destroy this misinformation to their peers, because there's too much of it going around where people will get discouraged or will not vote the way they should vote. Down balance has been mentioned, but I need to emphasize it again. It does not make a difference if you elect a president who's going to be for us, but you elect a Congress, a Senate, and a House that's going to be against us. So be very, every member of the House is up for re-election, every member. So every state has a vote, has a place, a thing to vote for beyond the president. So make sure you do that. What referendums are in your state? These are very important. So make sure you teach people how to know what's on the ballot. And these referendums, and they're written in trick ways. So you get confused, you see one buzzword, again, misinformation, and then you vote for it, and you find out, oh no, I should not have voted for that. Don't wait to vote, that has been mentioned. But let me just say something nobody else said. We may be dead, we may be sick, we don't want to miss out on making our vote count. So I hate to say that, but what made me think about it was Jimmy Carter's grandson saying they can't wait till the early voting day. I said, make sure, because he doesn't know how long he's going to be here. None of us know how long we're going to be here, but we're going to make our vote count. And then, COVID is coming back, so don't wait till voting day to vote. Not just because we need you to work, but also we want to make sure that your vote is counted. And then two more things is that people have turned 18 and they may be missed. Get them registered right now. Find out what's the last day you can get registered to vote. Get all the young people in your community. And then the ones that are way in college, get their absentee ballots. And that's one thing we'll be working on at Howard University, trying to identify the people who are in Texas and key states. We want to get them registered to vote. And I can't understand and finally, changes in polling place. Make sure you study that if you're going to wait till the day of the next day to vote. But you need to also know if you get people to the polls, so you make sure they can go to the right place.
And Dr. Scott did a wonderful job to tee me up. So I say, are you vote ready? Yes. Okay. Again, my name is Ebony Baylor, and I serve as the Vice President of Policy and Strategic Alliances here at the National Coalition. I'm just so honored to be here. Thank you, Melanie Campbell, for your leadership. Thank you, board members and everyone who came out today. Your presence, your energy, and your commitment to our shared mission means the world to us here at the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. Now, I want to remind you that there is work to do, and we have activity. We know that election day is a little bit over 70 days away, but voting is going to start in some states in September, October. So people are engaging. So that is why it's so important that you learn about our program called Are You Vote Ready? Go to the Unity Coalition, the unitycampaign.org to learn more. We need to verify our voting registration status. We need to verify your voting place. So go to unitycampaign.org. You can register to vote, verify your registration, find your polling place to make sure you have everything you need to participate. Also, We want you to stay connected with us. As Dean Marshall said earlier, don't forget to follow NCBCP on all social media platforms and to stay updated on our work for the future. Now, as the VP of Policy, I have to tell you, we have our CBCF activities coming up. We have the release of our Black Women's Report, so please be on the lookout. Again, thank you again for your time, for your passion, for your commitment, and we will win in November if we turn out.